The sun is bearing down as we walk off the Alpine Fighting Buck charter bus. Walking towards that historical stadium, not a word is said. Entering the famous Ratliff Stadium, you can hear footsteps echo through the concrete walls. Sitting in the locker room, getting prepared with my fellow teammates, I couldn't help but feel as I had prepared my whole life for this point. Padded up, we walk out to that turf field, hearing the sounds of cleats as my heart is pounding in my chest. Standing under the Saturday night lights, I had realized this is everything I had worked for. This is why I spent countless hours in the weight room. This was why I was big. The game was about to begin. BIG, or B-I-G, stands for the best I got. And in order for us to be the best that I got, we first need to be determined to pursue our goals. Next, we need to believe in our potential. And lastly, we need dedication to persevere through any of life's struggles. Now, how many of you like to watch bull riding? Anybody? Well, if any of you have ever heard a song by Chris Ledoux, Hooked on an 8-Second Ride, you kind of have an idea why I decided to participate in this extreme sport. And one individual that has always inspired and motivated me in the sport of bull riding is none other than the king of cowboys. Y'all may know this individual is Ty Murray. His accomplishments are amazing to myself, along with any rodeo cowboy. When he was just in grade school, his elementary teacher asked him a question we have all heard 1,000 times. If you could do anything in your life, what would it be? And you can imagine the usual responses you get from an elementary class. Superman, doctor, Batman, policeman. But not Ty Murray. When he was asked this exact same question, he said without a smile on his face, I want to beat Larry Mahan's record, referring to the 6th all-around world championship of title rodeo legend who most inspired him. Everything he did prepared him to realize his lifelong ambition, from walking miles of fence line, riding a unicycle to aid in his balance, juggling to improve his coordination, and even training with his high school gymnastics team despite never competing in that arena. Throughout the years, Mr. Murray's success continued. And with a little bumps and bruises here and there, he still had that ambition he set years ago. In 1998, Mr. Murray finally realized his lifelong ambition when he earned his 7th all-around world championship of title. Mr. Murray said he was going to be big. He was going to beat Larry Mahan's record. Being big and giving the best I got means being determined to pursue our goals. If we can be determined, have hard work and dedication, we can achieve any goal or dream we have in our lives, and we can be big. Now let's go back a few years back when I was just a child living in South Texas, maybe a little town, some of you in Area 10 might have heard, Corpus Christi. Growing up, I'd never been a part of any sports, so naturally when others started hearing that I wanted to play sports, I'd hear things like, you're too small, you're gonna get hurt, it's probably best if you don't. But I didn't seem to listen. I believed that if I wanted to play football, I had the ability and I could play. So before becoming a big, bad 7th grader, I began lifting weights, running, and even learning plays. Well, after 2 seasons as a Flower Bluff Hornet football player and not winning a single game, I moved out west to a small town called Alpine. As my freshman year started, I hardly knew anybody as I continued to play football. All I knew is that I loved to play and I wanted to, no matter what. My freshman year, our head coach, Shad Hanna, hung a big yellow banner inside our field house that read B-I-G. And under those words said, best I got. Every day I walked in that locker room, I looked at that banner, and I knew if I wanted to play at my potential, my full potential, and be successful, I needed to be big. Well, as my football career started, I was on the junior varsity team for a couple of seasons, had a few good wins under my belt, and I was moved up to the varsity my junior year. I was the backup running back on varsity and the 2nd string defensive end. But no matter my position, I remember the rush of every Friday night. When I stepped up on that field, I've played like I was 10 foot tall and bulletproof. Then, when my senior year came, a weird but rewarding change occurred. I was moved from running back to starting right guard. Yes, this guy was a starting right guard. Ask Coach Hannah about it. That football season, I don't think I saw the sideline very long. Between special teams, offense, and defense, I was running ragged, but I loved every minute of it. So no matter what others may say to you when you want to do something, if others don't want to encourage you, don't listen to them because you're better than that. You are the only person who can truly realize your potential. If you don't let others stand in your way, you can be big. Now, picture with me, if you will, it's a regular Friday night game. We have 3 minutes into the first quarter, and we have to punt the ball. I line up ready for the snap. As the ball is hiked to the punter, I hold off the defenders, and then sprint downfield to attack whoever had the ball. Now, as I'm running downfield, I spot this off-colored jersey way bigger than me. And he doesn't see me coming. So at this point, I'm zoned in on him, licking my lips at this opportunity. When I finally reach him, I leap in the air. Yes, leap, because that's what you have to do when you try to knock out a guy that's 2 foot taller than you. When I make contact, he falls to the ground, and all of a sudden, snap. Houston, my ankle has just landed on turf ground. As I slowly try to get up, I feel this horrible pain down deep in my ankle, almost as if someone had hit it with a sledgehammer. I hobble back to the sideline hoping everything is okay. Within no time, my ankle is badly swollen and black and blue. Sitting on that sideline, looking at my teammates, I saw the emotion that my teammates play with, and I couldn't sit on that sideline. I continued to play. I continued to play from September to November on that ankle, taping it up before every practice and every game. Sure, my ankle would hurt sometimes during games, but as I would look at my teammates' faces and saw the emotion in every single game and how much it meant to us and every single player in that room, the pain went away. After our last football game, I went to go see a doctor because my ankle hadn't really gotten any better. After an x-ray and a few MRIs, the doctors told me I had a horseshoe fracture around my ankle. I had internal bleeding in my heel, and I had torn every ligament on the right side of my ankle. People still ask me to this day, why did you keep playing even though you're hurt? Why didn't you have looked at sooner? My response every time is I wasn't going to let my ankle keep me from helping out my teammates during that game or the rest of the season for that matter. Being big and giving the best I got means perseverance. So FFA members, whenever you're practicing for a team or you're training your project, you will need to be big because there are going to be tough times in your life, and you will need to be big to persevere through those tough times. There is 1 minute left on the clock. Sweat is pouring out of my body. Heat is slowly rising through the cracks in my shoulder pads. As I look out over my teammates, I can't help but see the fatigue on their faces. The offense lines up on the ball, and for the first time the whole game, the defense is silent. As the ball is hiked and the offense kneels, there's nothing we can do. (29-12). The Littlefield Wildcats have beaten the Alpine Fighting Bucks for the Bi-District Championship. As the opposing team cheers for their victory, I couldn't help and not realize that that was my last high school football game. Those 48 minutes in November 2009, I gave the best I got. I gave everything I had till there was nothing left, and it's still on that field today. After that football game, I hung up my purple jersey and gold helmet for remembrance of my football career. After the end of this convention, I will take off my jacket, I will take off with pride, and I will hang it up next to my beloved football memoir. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for the wonderful opportunity to serve you this past year. It has been nothing short of an honor and a privilege. Now as my term draws to an end, I realize that my year of service has been nothing short, and that I've pursued my goals, I've realized my potential, and I've persevered through tough times. Texas FFA, be big and be the best you got.